Welcome to the Great British Mickey Waffle. We are a positive band of British voices united in love of all things Disney. I'm Jill, and joining me tonight are my fellow wafflers. We have Ben. Good evening.
Evening.
We have Becca. Hi, Becca.
Hello.
We have Claire. Hello, Claire.
Hi, Jill. How are you?
Good. And we have John.
Hi, Jill. Happy October.
Indeed.
Yes.
And next to me is, of course, the delightful Peter.
Hey up.
Now, some people say that life begins at 40. Others might say that life begins with a tiny little seed or with just one little spark of inspiration. And that along the way, we can thank the Phoenicians, talk to turtles, soar over a wonky Eiffel Tower, and even go into space. Not to mention strolling around the world with a margarita in hand, learning about different countries, cultures, and foods. And of course, stopping to try on a fez, because fezzes are cool. Hopefully, you've guessed by now that I'm talking about EPCOT, the second park to open at Walt Disney World, which celebrates its 40th birthday today. Happy birthday, EPCOT.
Happy birthday, Epcot.
Looking good for 40. The newest attraction at EPCOT is Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, and that opened just a few months ago. And before long, we are hoping to welcome more new attractions, such as the Journey of Water inspired by Moana. They love their long titles, don't they?
So I think when you say Journey of Water, I just think of toilets. I don't know why. It's plumbing. It's just... There's just something that...
Yeah. Here's the recycling plant, and this is the purifying station. There is something around that, and for me, if you have to explain what it is, maybe it's not quite right. If you have to explain the purpose in the title,
the Journey of Water.
Yeah.
It actually sounds like an Avatar title. So
actually, I know what it could be. Well, that is the way of water. What it could be is, what was it in Frozen 2 that Olaf said about water having memory?
Oh,
yes.
Water has memory.
Has memory and lasts through...
There you go.
I can't remember what it was. But
See, that'd be great if they put that in somehow, but I'm not sure that would happen.
It would tie in with Frozen being in Norway.
No.
Anyway, it's about Moana. It's not going to be...
It's not about Olaf, no.
What's it about water?
Yeah, it's about water. Who knows? So anyway, let's celebrate all things EPCOT. We're going to take you way back in time to 1982. For your safety, please keep your hands and arms inside the vehicle and remain seated at all times.
Claire's time machine's a bit bumpy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, Jill, you mentioned about fezzes. I'm thinking, is this like an episode of Doctor Who?
Yes. Indeed.
Do you know what I have to say? I was stuck on whether the plural of fez is fezzes. I got a bit sidetracked by that, I'm afraid, while you were talking, Jill. I was trying to... Is it fezzy? Fezzy? I don't know what the plural of fez is.
What is it, just
I think it's fez.
Fez.
It's like sheep.
I think it's like yeah. Becca,
this is it.
Yes.
This is the thing. It's a grammar thing, and I'm kind of stuck on it, so I'm going to have to look it up.
Yeah.
And we all have to be on our best behaviour because there's only one way to walk around World Showcase.
Through
Canada
Mexico.
first.
And you want the margaritas first.
Clockwise is the only way.
It is the only way.
There is no discussion.
Oh.
And we're not even going there. Even back in 1982. Even back in 1982, clockwise was the only solution.
Yeah, they should have a T-shirt saying "I did it counterclockwise," shouldn't they?
Well,
We can always
I'm not
make
sure
one.
that T-shirt. That just.
Cotians do it counterclockwise. There you go. There you go.
Oh dear. This could end up anywhere.
It could.
Yeah.
Anyway, Becca, take us back to 1982, would you please?
1982, 1st of October 1982, the experimental prototype Community of Tomorrow, or EPCOT Center, as it was then called, first opened. Now, originally, Walt's idea for this was for it to be a big city with all of the bits and bobs. Can't think of the best way to describe that. Apart from a working city with
all the community stuff.
the
The
community
community
centres, that's the one.
And
With all the
And it was
up-to-date
meant to be-
technology.
Yeah, but meant to be lived in originally. I think the
Yeah.
original concept was it was to be what Celebration ended up becoming. But
Well, no,
what an
maybe.
extraordinary
Yeah.
sort of thought, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had elevated roads
Yeah.
and things like that, bridges to walk around.
Sort of be like living in the Jetsons.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Walt did pass away before EPCOT was even really off the ground, and it ended up as EPCOT Center with two distinct parts: Future World to discuss and showcase future technology, and World Showcase to showcase different cultures from around the world.
I always think of them as the bow tie.
What?
A bow tie. A bow tie has two separate sides.
Actually, I was thinking more of an infinity symbol there.
Yeah.
There you go.
Is that to go with the fez?
That's what. Yeah, the bow tie.
Now,
Yeah.
really
Well, photos are
confused.
cool as well.
It's all going Tommy Cooper. Must admit.
We're on Matt Smith here. Matt Smith,
We are talking
okay?
about the 80s,
Yes.
though, John.
So Epcot opened with 17 attractions. The majority of which were actually in World Showcase. I feel a bit sorry for Future World. It seems to have 5 out of those 17. So
Oh, can we guess what they were?
Yes,
Yeah,
if you
I
can
was
guess
gonna
what they
say.
were.
Okay,
Spaceship
Spaceship
Earth.
Earth.
Be one.
Spaceship Earth was one.
Narrated by Walter
I don't know who it
Cronkite.
was.
Walter
rated
Cronk.
by.
Okay.
Was it
Walter
Walter Cronkite, wasn't it?
yeah.
First one.
Yeah. What else was there? Probably Horizons.
No, Horizons
No,
didn't
that
open
was later.
until
Listen to the Land. Was Listen to the Land there?
close. Living with the Lamb was there.
Oh, it was Living with the Land because I thought it was Listen to the Land first.
Well, according to my touring
Research.
plans website.
The attraction was called Living with the Land. The song is Listen to the Land.
Wow, there we are.
Actually,
Yeah.
one little seed.
Mm.
What about Figment? Was he was Journey into Imagination an
I
opening
think
day
so, no.
attraction?
Journey into Imagination wasn't. No, it was opened in the 90s, I believe.
Yeah.
Ooh.
World of Motion was there to start with, wasn't it? That was the precursor to what became Test Track in the 90s. I'm sure
Yeah.
that was one of the first ones. Was
Yeah, World of
I
Motion.
know there was Communicore,
Communicore.
which was basically that central hub was Communicore, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Horizons
Okay.
opened in 1983.
Okay,
Oh,
so it wasn't
close
that
then.
long with
That
It
Horizons.
was
was close, but
close,
it wasn't opening day.
And the other one
But
was the
what-
Universe of Energy.
Universal Energy, yeah.
And
Okay.
that's prior
With the dinosaurs.
to Ellen turning up. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Originally sponsored. I'm trying. I think it was Exxon
Oh,
who
yeah.
famously had the massive oil spillage and
Yes.
then had to
Yeah.
change their entire
do that.
name. So yeah, it's kind of rather a bizarre sort of thought of
Yeah.
you're going to save the whole world. Sponsored by a massive oil company. Right?
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah,
Money's money
there
at
you
the end of the day, isn't it? I suppose.
go. It comes back to bite you.
And then in World Showcase,
Yeah, can you name the World Showcase pavilions?
Wow.
Wow.
Get out my history book here.
Yeah.
Well, UK.
Yep, the UK was there.
Okay.
Interestingly enough, so was the Rose and Crown.
really?
Yeah. According to this map, anyway.
Oh.
This map says it's from 1982,
Guessing
so
France was there.
France was there. Stop looking at the map and cheating.
What's like
Morocco wasn't there yet. That
Morocco
opened a little bit
wasn't
later.
there.
Canada?
Canada was there.
Italy.
Italy was there.
Japan was there.
No,
What about
Japan
Mexico?
wasn't there.
Was
Mexico
Japan
was.
there? So
No.
there must have been a massive
Oh no,
abyss
Japan
between
was there.
France
Sorry,
and-
I'm looking at the wrong part of the
Okay.
map.
You're going counterclockwise, Becca.
Yeah.
That was the issue.
That was the problem. I was looking at
Yeah, that's why you shouldn't ever
over
do
near
it.
Mexico rather than over near
yeah.
France.
That's why you're getting confused. So Mexico was there.
Mexico was there.
Yeah.
Japan was there.
Norway wasn't there, was it?
Norway wasn't there. No.
USA would have been there, wouldn't it?
USA was there.
But
We've got two more to find.
Germany
Germany, yep.
and Italy, presumably.
No, you've
Said
already said
Italy.
Italy.
Yeah.
We say Mexico.
We've said Mexico.
Yeah, we did.
China, then.
China.
China.
Which possibly says an awful lot about the Imagineering and the look of those pavilions even today. Yeah, because they are the ones that really they stand out as you're walking around World Showcase. But the amount of detail and obviously went into them before the park actually opened as well.
Yeah. There's so much to see, isn't there?
Was any of us lucky to visit in the 80s?
No.
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 I think I've said this before. My family went after EPCOT had just opened, and they've never returned. They did EPCOT and Magic Kingdom in a day.
Oh.
Yeah.
So Main Street and
They've never
Spaceship
been
Earth?
back. Yeah. Spaceship Earth, done that. We've done
Golf
EPCOT,
ball.
seen it, done it. We're off. And actually, I missed out that entire holiday because I was a stroppy teenager at the time and chose not to go. And in the end, it's probably made me a bigger Disney fan as a result of not having to go and put up with family whilst they thought that they were seeing something that was brand new.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've got a photograph somewhere that they took outside, in part of EPCOT, and it's kind of unrecognisable from what I first saw. But they went to a park that was really in its complete infancy, and I think it struggled to begin with purely on the fact that people were wanting that sort of impact of maybe what they anticipated Magic Kingdom to be, and when they first turned up at EPCOT, you come away, particularly in the early days, because it didn't have that true identity that has grown over the 40 years. And I think it struggled, certainly the first 10 years, I think it struggled to appeal to the masses. I think it struggled to actually get people through the gates, because people were like, they weren't quite sure what they were going in to see.
And I think that's still an issue now, to be honest with you, John. I know that for all of us here, EPCOT is a place that we all love, and I know it's my favourite park. I can spend days and days there, and I think we all feel quite similarly about it. But when you look at the social media discussions, and there's forums and all sorts of things, when you read that, and there's people going, do we need to go to EPCOT? What's special about it? Is it somewhere that we should go? Oh, my kid's going to enjoy it, because it's this weird park that kind of does this edutainment thing.
Yeah.
It's got these showcase pavilions that don't really have very many attractions. Guardians is there now, but there wasn't anything to really pull you in unless you're going to go on Soarin or something like that. And people miss, for me, the people asking that question have missed the point. And so I feel like a bit of an EPCOT ambassador. I'm like, no, it's like the best place
I also think the recent thing with Hollywood Studios, we've said over the past few years, has been the half-day park, and now it's a park that has so much in it, and it's so heavily advertised by Disney of what's there. People know what you get at Hollywood Studios. You get Tower.
You get attractions.
You get attractions. You get what you're there for.
Because EPCOT's so much more than that. It's not. For me, it's absolutely not about the attraction.
It's the experience.
All the rest of it.
Yeah.
And in fact, the first few trips, I did not understand EPCOT.
Right. This is the thing. I think you have to spend time there.
Yeah, you do.
For me to actually go, I see what this is about now. I see why people like this park so much. Still don't quite get why people like Illumination so much.
Yes.
But actually, I have worked that out, I think.
Yeah.
It does have a bit of an identity crisis, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I don't think it does, Peter. I really don't. For me,
it's
EPCOT
not the
really
misunderstanding of people not understanding
Yeah.
what the park is about.
Yeah.
But
it kind of flips the theme park experience on its head. Whereas you go for the adrenaline rush to a normal theme park. Epcot's never been like that. Even from its inception, it was meant to be a learning experience. It's meant to widen your own perception of the world. It's meant to widen your perception of, again, communication.
It's so unique.
The whole
that
thing.
For me is like the best thing.
But I think people go originally is that, right, come on, I want entertained. I want to be blown away by this brand new theme park. It's the 1980s, and then they walk in. Even some people in the 2020s walk in. I want to be entertained. It is one of those places that really, like you've said, Becca, it takes a couple of times of going, fully understanding what is actually there, and then actually understanding what the concept is actually based around. Once you've got that sorted, I think you then sort of take a breath. And then what you can do is then go and be able to explore some of the absolutely amazing bits of magic that are certainly around World Showcase. That I know we had real good fun with a former waffler one time who had never visited any of the World Showcase pavilions. Which again, go back and listen to that on our website, because I don't think poor Sammy has ever lived that down.
But John, I think you're right. It's an active experience. You can't be a passenger when you go to Epcot because you miss stuff. So I think when people have been to maybe Magic Kingdom or even Hollywood Studios, you can be quite passive there. Things will come to you. Characters will be around you. Attractions are there, placed in front of you. In Epcot, you have to go and find that stuff. You have to go and look for it. Otherwise, you miss that wider experience. And that, for me, that curiosity that you need to be able to employ to be able to enjoy the park to its max, that is the bit that I love, because I'm aware that people have missed it, and I'm experiencing something that other people aren't, because I know to go look for it. That's the fun bit for me.
The thing about being the 80s is when you think of Walt's plan for Epcot, that is a thing what everyone looks back to, and it's so different from a theme park that what you'd expect and what you would think is like. I think that's when people go actually Epcot and they Google and they think, oh, what was it supposed to be? And then it's like, okay, it's something completely different to what the original concept was. I think with at least with Magic Kingdom, there was a castle, there was attractions, there was what the original plan was for. With Epcot, it's had to evolve because you can't go to the future world. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. And it's interesting, you get some people, as you say, who get it, and others who go around it sort of for 3 hours and say, well, it's a science fair meets a shopping mall.
Or they drink their way around World Showcase and miss, there's nothing wrong with that. Trust me, I've done it. But there's something about having a drink and exploring and being curious while you're doing it. Rather than just treating it like a bar crawl, which is a different experience completely.
Easily done, though. Because you never know when to stop. That's why it's in a circle.
Yeah. I think as well, talking about the 80s, I think we really do need to give credit to certainly World of Motion in particular. Was such a historical ride, and yet it's still, again, some people would still say it's one of those rides that should still be as part of some part of Epcot somewhere. But the one everyone keeps coming back to, and I think in a lot of the polls that you read, if anybody was wanting any ride putting back into any park in the whole of Walt Disney World, Horizons is the one. Horizons seems to be the one that I think for everybody was just the one that took people's breath away, and just kind of just used the Omni Mover to the biggest extent. And I still think I know there's a few people who listen to our Wednesday shows that if you mention the word Horizons, then suddenly the ears prick up.
It's that little radar.
It's old school.
Horizons radar.
Let's have a bit of this. And it's certainly, it is one of those things that you look it up on YouTube. Go and there's so many different people who put up different times of Horizons as well, because it did adapt quite quickly. But it's the most incredible ride, and you actually you find yourself getting drawn into it. You can understand why when it opened, it became that real sort of highlight for everybody, and still is. I think we can't do any show about Epcot without saying how much kind of Horizons has kind of cast a shadow over any bit of Imagineering that's gone ever since, because it truly was something that was to behold.
It was really groundbreaking, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The living in space, and they had a simulator screen and sort of virtual. When you look at where we are now, and people doing through COVID doing school virtually.
Yeah.
They had that in Horizons. They had kids doing virtual lessons from space. Actually, it wasn't so far away from. Is it? It was designed by Nostradamus. I don't know, but it was something around the positive opportunity of the future. And here we are, 40 years down the line, having done exactly what was proposed. It was for me. It's and it had one of the best songs, as did World of Motion. Missed music.
But you see, I think that fits in with things we've spoken about previously, isn't it? Is what Disney are able to do is take not just the theme of a ride, but actually involve the musical element of it. And then also, I think we probably need to mention as well sort of that whole ambient sound throughout Epcot that becomes part and parcel of your everyday sort of oral experience. Yeah. And yet they got that from such a very, very early time, but just incredible. And like I say, Horizons for me sort of encapsulates what Epcot set out. And like you said, Claire, to watch it in play during COVID times, as to what actually was perhaps a little bit of magical thinking. And I still think it still has a little bit of a role to play. I'd still love to see it come back. I know there's lots of our listeners who would. But
there's something in the way now. There's something else in the way now, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
I've had an
They could
idea.
put it somewhere else.
You know that blue sky thinking we spoke about last month on D23?
Yeah.
What they could do is just have a park with all the attractions.
All the old attractions that everybody
Yes.
misses.
They could recreate. They could recreate
Attraction
them.
graveyard park.
Now we're talking.
That
Well, that's the
sounds
villain section next door. That
amazing.
could make this a whole creepy kind of place.
Oh wow!
That would be so cool. That would be like the busiest, most popular park out of all of them. If you put all the
Maybe we
defunct-
need to do a poll on the Waffler's Arms and
What
start
would you
talking
put in
about
your graveyard
if you-
attraction park?
Yeah. If you could
Maybe
bring
we
one
should
back.
just do a Wednesday on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe we should just put Horizons as top of the list anyway, because we know it's going to
We
win.
know it's going to
So
Maelstrom, close
except
second.
Horizons.
Except Horizons, there we go.
What else
Except
would you
Horizons,
have in your
Yeah,
graveyard park?
that'd be good.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
I could see there'd be lots of arguments over what to have, what not have.
Yeah.
Why haven't you got this? Why have you got this?
Yeah.
I think going down that road could be fun, but it also could be interesting.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
Also
We'll have a
trying
challenge.
to pick up the link between the decades though as well. What's really interesting is actually Horizons itself didn't last a long time.
No.
I think but I know we spoke about the 80s, but I know Claire, you're going to pick up on the 90s very shortly. But I'm probably cutting across you by saying this.
That's fine, you carry on. I love it, guys.
It was partially closed in '94, and then it then went to seasonal up to '99. And when you look back and you think, goodness, what went wrong? What went wrong during that particular time? And it didn't get an awful lot of love, and it's quite ironic in a way. But I'll let you lead on the 90s rather than me cutting across all your prep. Thank you for listening to the Great British Mickey Waffle. We would really love to hear from you, and you can find us at GB Mickey Waffle on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, or you can email us at waffleon@gbmickeywaffle.com. There are many ways that you can support us, and the easiest way is to leave us a rating and a review on your podcast app. And why don't you share the show with your friends too? Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel and subscribe for even more waffle. Now, back to the show.
I was lucky enough to go to EPCOT in the early 90s. So I went in 1991 and 1993, or 1994, I think it might have been. We went to Disneyland in 1993. And I remember going to EPCOT and I remember thinking, like, Listen to the Land was the most boring attraction I have ever been on in my entire life. My dad wanted to go on it. I'm like going, we're in a gardening attraction, seriously? Are you actually serious that you're making me go round in a boat looking at gardening? I love it now. I think it's that you suddenly realise that you're old and you start loving that attraction. But
I'm old and I don't love it.
I love that.
I do remember being
I'm
there.
like you, Claire. The first time I went on that, I was like, what am I on? Why am I on this?
I remember the music. I remember the song.
I didn't even have the music.
I love the song.
Yeah.
I remember the rain. I remember like the house and the prairie, the whole thing. I remember it all.
Yeah.
But I remember being bored to tears, and now I can't get enough of it.
You didn't jump out and grab a cucumber.
It's especially great
I
around
did
Christmas
not.
when they put all the Christmas lights up.
I haven't seen it at Christmas. I can't wait to do that.
It's great.
But I remember that pavilion because not only was there Living with the Land, there was also the awesomeness of Kitchen Cabaret, which I remember very clearly. Who can't get away with singing Veggie Fruit?
Veggie fruit. That's it.
And Kitchen Cabaret was so quirky and bizarre at the same time.
Yeah.
And the restaurant that's now Sunshine Seasons, it was a slightly different type of experience back in the 90s. And I think that there's so many things that have moved forward, but there's the thing about EPCOT is there's always that tangible golden thread running through of the history. And I think that's the bit that even if something new comes along, you still feel that the history's there behind it, which I don't always feel in the other parks. Like the legacy bit of EPCOT is always in place. I had down on my list to talk about Imagination Pavilion with the jumping fountains that worked. And Journey into Imagination with Dreamfinder and Figment, who I was lucky enough to meet with. And obviously they've just announced in meet and greet with Figment coming out for a D23. They've talked about that, and I remember meeting Figment and Dreamfinder. There is a photo floating around in social media somewhere. And it was the interactive elements of that pavilion with the rainbow tunnel and, getting up on a stage and doing all sorts of stuff. I remember that so clearly I was in my early teens, and it was like, oh my goodness, this is stuff I can do. I can be involved in this. This is something for me to enjoy and to take part in, rather than just to be a passive, passenger around. So, I think the Imagination Pavilion was something very, very different back in the 90s. Maybe one day it'll get back there, but there's a lounge upstairs now, I think, isn't there?
Yeah,
it's the BBC lounge. Yeah.
It's a nice, quiet space, to be fair.
It wasn't a quiet space in the 90s. I had the Wonders of Life Pavilion down because that sadly is being hopefully worked on as a play pavilion at the moment, maybe.
Yeah, still. Eventually.
Maybe.
But the Wonders of Life Pavilion, I do remember very clearly as well. Body Wars. I love a simulator, but I know it makes some people sick, and Body Wars was the one that made everyone ill. The making of me, the less we say about that, the better. It was certainly an experience never to be spoken about ever again if you went with your parents. And then there was the sense lab, so you could go around and touch things and smell things, and again it was that interactive. There was the bicycles, so you could sit and you could cycle, and you could watch a video of, it was like early Peloton, you could watch a video of going around Magic Kingdom as you're cycling along, as you're cycling the video moves. There were so many things that actually you could get involved in, and I think we miss that maybe a little bit now. My personal view.
Yeah, I think that's certainly one of the key parts for me, Claire, was the fact it was hands-on learning.
Yeah, Communicore was the same. You could go in and you could use the computer, you know, like, they were massive and clunky. But you could use a computer. You could speak to someone virtually and book a restaurant. You could go and you could explore what was going to be coming, you know, this computer technology that nobody was using. You know, we had computers in the library at school at that point, and you had to, you know, it was the old dial-up connection and not a commonplace thing. You know, people certainly didn't have cell phones or anything like that.
And we wouldn't be able to do Zoom calls like this.
No, right?
No.
This would not be a possibility.
No.
So yeah, I think Communical was a really interesting place, and lots of interactive bits. I had University of Energy down because that was still there in the 90s, and I have a really strong memory of University of Energy, and it's not the ride itself, other than, you know, the whole theatre moving, which was wow, but it's the smell. And I know that, you know, olfactory memories are really, really strong. But for me, the smell when you went into that first room with the dinosaurs and the dry ice in University of Energy, I can still smell that now. It has a slightly sweet bubblegummy smell to it, and it like slightly damp bubblegum. I know that doesn't make any sense at all.
So chewed bubblegum then.
It's just bizarre.
They've not brought out a candle with that, have they?
They haven't.
No.
They should.
That's like chew bubblegum. Yeah.
It's like sort of, dense air, damp bubblegum smell.
Okay, if any candle companies are listening, you
Want to share? You want to share?
Yeah. Do you know, Claire, I think what was really interesting in the 90s certainly from a Disney perspective, was one where they were seeking real big expansion, and like Euro Disney was opened, and then the realization came that Euro Disney was going to be the most amazing flop, and they were making but they were making huge losses on Euro Disney. That all the funding that they perhaps thought that they could put into EPCOT and sort of take that to the next stage of its development was suddenly pulled, because actually they became very aware that they couldn't certainly could
Money
not
had to
have
go
that
elsewhere.
sort of that loss of face of having a European park closed down through lack of finance, and suddenly you're then left with, well, we take the money from EPCOT. It slowed down, I think, an awful lot of the investment that was needed there.
Yeah.
And it meant for a little bit of a tweak as to what Disney actually felt was needed within EPCOT itself. And I think it was like a little bit of a wake-up call in some ways, possibly going back to Horizons as to why that went to seasonal and stuff. But they really sort of were caught with one hand looking towards France, and yet the other a park that certainly at that time was having an almighty struggle to establish its own identity.
Didn't it? Yeah.
Stagnating.
Yeah.
Well, when you think Hollywood Studios had only just opened a few years ago as well.
I was going to say.
And now only opened with like 2 attractions, and it's like it needed a lot of funding, and it wasn't there.
Yeah.
The other thing about EPCOT in the 90s was they did use the opportunity to have stuff on the lake. So I don't remember this, but there was a show, Surprise in the Sky, which had powered hang gliders that came off boats on the lake. I don't know if anyone's ever watched any footage of that. I've been watching like old videos, people's VHSs that they've uploaded to YouTube. Apparently it was nicknamed Mistake on the Lake, which I can understand why. I watched it.
I was going to say that sounds very similar to a current show.
Mark one.
But when you watch it, it's also got kites, like big kite things that were horrible failures. So that sounds really
So they don't learn then.
Massive balloons.
No kites, darling.
And also they had these huge, like 20-foot balloons of characters that suddenly appeared in each of the World Showcase pavilions, dressed in appropriate national costume. So a Minnie in a kimono, suddenly at the end of the show, she suddenly inflated in Japan. It's bizarre. But it's so if anyone wants to see sort of the precursor to what happens now, go and watch Surprise in the Sky on YouTube, because that was interesting. But they also had a parade, so they had John, remind me of Tapestry of Nations.
Tapestry of Nations, wasn't it? And
I was going to say it wasn't the Barbie one, was it?
Oh, I haven't touched on Barbie because I was there when Barbie was, and I just can't even go there. But Tapestry of Nations with stilt walkers and puppets, and it was really unique. It was beautiful. They also had like double-decker buses going around World Showcase.
That's my first memory. And actually now, if you actually did the maths with it, how on earth they got a double-decker bus?
I know.
All the way around.
Well, they didn't have all the booths in the way, did they?
No, I know, but even looking back, how they got a parade round there? I've never known.
I know. And
every time I think of a parade at Epcot, I think, no, that didn't happen. How?
Yeah, it really did.
Just incredible.
Parade happened in studios, so
Around World Showcase Lagoon, obviously they didn't have all the booths there. I think the walkway is probably just about wide enough, but there wasn't a lot of space either side of it to watch. That was the thing.
No.
And the other thing that really stuck out for me when I was looking at the research for the 90s and what from my memory is the live entertainment that happened around World Showcase that we just don't see as much of nowadays. They had stuff in pretty much every single country. They did have characters in most countries. There was Robin Hood and Friar Tuck in the UK, and they had Pearly King and Queen dancing and doing the whole, the Lambeth Walk up and down the streets in the UK pavilion, which was great. And they had entertainers. They had comedian in Italy. They had Miyuki doing her candy stuff in Japan, which sadly has gone as well. And like the belly dancers in Restaurant Marrakesh and all of that stuff has just gone. And that for me is really sad, because that was part of the fun of World Showcase. That was the engagement. That was the thing to pull you in. You just take a step bit deeper into the pavilion and find out a bit more. So, I think that's sad. And the Liberty Singers were there. They weren't what we have now, but they were called the Liberty Singers, rather than
Voice of Liberty.
Yeah.
Voices of Liberty. Yeah.
So, what did Epcot do a lot for the new millennium? Do you know? Does anybody know?
Yeah.
Well, they put a big 2000 on top.
Wand on the side of the spaceship Earth.
Yeah.
And a big 2000 on top of the spaceship.
They were celebrating Harry Potter. They put a wand on the side of it.
Yeah.
I've seen photos of that, and I can understand why that did not go down.
Not as bad as the cake on the castle, but
I saw that.
Not
That was
quite, but
I did see that one.
Yeah. It was still kind of a sacrilegious thing to do to Spaceship Earth. I actually felt that, again, it's one of them things, who signed it off? Because it was just like...
Michael Eisner.
Yeah, but it was just one of
1990, it's probably been in place,
But it was a massive time of the park evolving and changing. And again, it was that I think they needed to do something to mark the new millennium. They'd obviously, in getting Tapestry of Nations, I think it was 99, I think that started. And so it saw them through into the next millennium. And what it allowed then was for them to start rethinking about what they wanted the park to be. And I don't know. As much as I don't like the wand, I think it was as a wake-up call to people. And it's like, if you've been before, we're doing stuff a little bit differently now. Yeah. Let's move.
We've got a wand!
Yeah. What was funny about it, when we were there in 2013, we found postcards that were being sold in the shop still with the wand on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to dig through it. Might still have one.
Yeah.
Whatever you say about the wand, it's better than the what we had in London.
What do we have?
I don't remember what we had in London.
The dome.
Oh, the dome. Oh, the O2.
Well, yes.
Millennium Dome.
Actually, I thought that the dome was kind of an attempt to do Epcot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just a bit of it.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I think you're right.
It didn't quite work, but for many reasons. But I think that was kind of what the idea was. Yeah.
I think there's something we should mention about Spaceship Earth structure, because that sphere is just, for me, it is the most incredible structure.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I know they put some lovely lights on it now, and they do all sorts of projections and fun stuff. But just that massive sphere, and the fact that there's an attraction inside it kind of blows my mind still every time I go on it.
Yeah.
But it's so incredible. And for me, it's like it feels like the heart of Walt Disney World, really. Nowhere else has anything like that. There's castles all over the place, but nowhere else has got one of them.
Also worth mentioning was the fact that at the October the 1st, 1999, so the start of, was it Illuminations 2000, Reflections of Earth, which again becomes that iconic sort of show that we've okay, it has changed, it's evolved over the years until it's passing. But to have that starting for the millennium as well, it kind of showed that there was that whole aim of trying to drag a theme park into people's consciousness, and again, one of those things that let's do things a little differently than perhaps we thought possible. But between that, the parade, and the wand, I think by the time we got to the millennium, I think Epcot had got itself on a little bit of an upward curve as regarding people's, certainly putting on people's list of what they wanted to do on the holiday. But yeah, I still think Reflections of Earth, I don't care what anyone says, it's still right up there with just one of the most amazing nighttime attractions. It was something else, and I think in its early days when everything worked properly, it was something else, and the music itself, the music.
Yeah, music's incredible.
Thank you for listening to the Great British Mickey Waffle. We would really love to hear from you, and you can find us at GB Mickey Waffle on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or you can email us at waffleon@gbmickeywaffle.com. There are many ways that you can support us, and the easiest way is to leave us a rating and a review on your podcast app. And why don't you share the show with your friends too? Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel and subscribe for even more waffle. Now, back to the show.
That takes us into 2002 to 2012.
Which is apparently me. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So we start with a tune that will always go around your head, which is Journey into Imagination with Figment. The current version, the version that nobody likes.
It's amazing, really, isn't it?
That's not true.
That's not true. If you've not seen the original Dreamfinder one, then you have nothing to compare it to. So
no, I don't mind it. It is the only one that I know. So.
Yeah,
we like it, but yes, it does need an update.
Yeah,
it's amazing to think though that's been there 20 years.
Yeah,
that version.
Yeah. And then you think, that's why it needs an update. It's 20 years old.
Yep.
Yeah.
You could run across the Great Wall of China because you had Reflections of China.
Yeah.
You had Mission Space.
Yep. 2003.
Wow,
2003.
Really?
Yeah.
Gosh.
And that was just Mission Space
Orange. They didn't have the green.
Yeah, because then they had to open green later.
Yeah, because it was
the incident.
The two incidents.
Protein spills. Yes.
Protein spills.
Oh no.
No. There was
no.
Something.
There was
a worse incident.
Significant incidents that we don't talk about.
Dear.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Moving
like
swiftly
Mission
on.
Space. I think it doesn't get enough of.
Okay, Claire, green or orange?
It's still the one
Orange
attraction
every
I've
time.
got.
Every time. Although I love green. Because the story's better on green.
Okay.
It's still the
amazing.
one. It's still the one attraction we've not done in Epcot.
I think that's the only one I want
No, well, we've not done a couple of Impressions de France and things like that.
But yeah,
it's a couple of those we haven't done. Then Future World.
Since 1982, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You also got a righteous time in Turtle Talk with Crush.
2004.
2004.
Wow,
I love
really?
Turtle Talk with Crush. I don't do it enough.
It's so funny. I've seen some really funny videos of that recently.
Yeah.
I think kids are getting bored with their questions.
Yes. Last time we did it, there was a signer. I don't know if there's always a signer there, but there was somebody signing, and I tried very hard to figure out the ASL for dude. I don't think I quite got it.
Soarin was 2005.
Wow.
Yeah.
I actually think that was to me that was such a pivotal time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because it was that lift. See what I did there? But it actually changed people's perceptions of Epcot, and suddenly you're now going into a park where you are going to experience something that fitted into the whole Epcot theme.
Yep.
Secondly, it was a unique ride that nobody had ever thought, ever possible to sort of put yourself within that screen and just be able to find yourself traveling across different parts and different smells, and it was such a superb thing. But it put Epcot again just on the map as a must-do park, and so you found that the crowds were high for that. It suddenly became between that and then you get Test Track, and you're suddenly finding this park is actually becoming a new version of where we left it off, sort of late 90s, where it had stagnated and it hadn't had that cash injection. You suddenly find in the 2000s they rode that whole thing from the fireworks show, from the Millennium, and suddenly somebody was actually.
It was
I don't know quite who
a push to update it and bring it out to the future.
What they were doing was superb, because it was, I think for anyone who went early 2000s, it was a park that was exciting because it was just totally buzzing with parades, fireworks, and new rides, with still a little bit of the old stuff there as well. And so it had a bit of everything.
Yeah, it was the part they were willing to take a risk in. To try something new that hadn't happened somewhere else. Actually, do you know what? Because it's Future World, or because it's this unique place that nowhere else is going to replicate ever, we can test something out that maybe doesn't exist somewhere else. So Test Track, the Mission Space, nowhere else is doing that. But this park, we can get away with it because maybe there isn't a particularly congruous story across the whole property. But we can get away with testing out these things and just dipping our toe and see. And I think they still do that a little bit with it, like the Guardians.
I was going to say, you can argue they're still doing it. Guardians is the ride
That's
system
the fun
for
bit.
Guardians.
That's the whole point of Epcot. I get really excited by this stuff. It should be the park where we test stuff to see if it's going to work.
Crash test dummies.
Talking of Test Track.
Yes.
Yeah.
In 2012, the previous version closed in April, and in December, the new version opened.
Yeah.
So you've done both versions.
I've done both versions. Yeah.
Lots of demo versions.
Which is best?
6 one, half dozen of another. It's basically the same, just one is lights and one is not.
No, the old one used to have like the bumpy surfaces.
Yeah.
I was going to say, wasn't the old one literally a crash test dummy?
Yeah.
The new one is.
Yeah.
Chef
It's a bit
Ray.
more
Same
refined. It's a bit more refined.
It's more
futuristic.
The route is still
designing
the
and
same.
testing your own car.
Yeah.
The pre-show on the original one was absolutely. We'll put up a. Was it a 3, 6, and 7? No, not a 7. And it's just like, and again, it's one of the ones that it still comes up. If Test Track goes down, it's like, oh, they've messed the numbers up today.
Yeah.
And it's just like, we go. It's one of them ones. It's just like a really lovely nod back to what was.
Yeah.
It was a fab ride originally. I actually think they plussed it.
Yeah.
When they redid it and actually put in the making your own car bit, just for Claire to be as competitive as anything. So,
I love that bit as well.
Yeah. And I think that helped refresh it, because I think previously it was kind of, you'd ride it a couple of times and you've seen the pre-show and you're like, okay, let's move on a bit. But this time it became, again, a little bit ahead of its time, because if you remember, you go back to 2012. Not everybody had a mobile phone, so there wasn't that whole notion of being able to build stuff and actually, it's before. all this. I can't remember computer games and all that. But it was before that whole build your own cities and all that. So you don't get
Minecraft.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. But before that, and again, it was just like groundbreaking that you could go to a theme park, you could design a car, you could go and test it out against other people on the test track, and you'd still go 64.9 miles an hour every single time.
Every single time.
Yeah.
Every time.
Regardless of how rubbish your car looks like.
Yeah.
Talking of doing that sort of thing, when we went in 2010, both interventions were looking very sad.
Tired, weren't they?
Yeah.
They were beyond their.
Yeah.
Nobody's mentioned interventions yet.
No.
But yeah, they were certainly on the last legs when we went in 2010.
What was the great? What was it? The great something.
Took them another
was?
decade or so to move on.
Yeah.
To work out what they were doing.
To put it totally out of its misery.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, again, it was. I think those were things that you really had to engage with.
Yeah.
And every time we went in that first trip, there was nobody in there. Nothing was happening.
Well, they did turn it into a meet and greet space.
Yeah.
And where was it? We met Baymax and Joy and Sadness.
Yeah.
In those
But
spaces.
even before that, Ben, some of the things that were there, and particularly at the time we had a young family, and you were looking for things that, there was still a bit of how to escape from your house if it was on fire.
Yeah.
Now, bit of a bizarre thing to share with young kids, but actually,
Very useful.
Yeah.
but you just never thought of it. There was also the ride simulator where you could actually
Yes.
Yeah.
which was absolutely incredible. And there was, even the things back in those days, it was the one where you could take your own picture and you could send it via email.
Yeah.
Now imagine that. But it was groundbreaking of its time. And I think one of the problems with interventions was it required annual sort of updates.
Yeah.
And eventually
technology
you can't sustain that at the speed at which everything technology wise has moved, probably since sort of the mid 2000s onwards, as regarded mobile technology especially. Probably certainly back mid 2000s, you wouldn't have, a mobile phone would have been that, the size of a suitcase.
Yeah.
And so
There was certainly house brick, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we kind of forget how big a challenge it must have been to actually continue to try to get something new into interventions that was going to be cutting edge, because unfortunately, like it or not, Disney were not going to be the people who, by the time you get to that stage, they're not going to be inventing this stuff. You then find that there's the companies that the Microsofts of the world, the Apples of the world, who are not prepared to peg. And this is perhaps where they were probably finding it difficult with Disney. These companies wouldn't pay as others had done before, such as Kodak with a lot of sponsorship.
Yeah.
Why should they give Disney money to put stuff in their theme park when actually we develop it ourselves, we can make the money, and actually we're not giving anything away for free. Yeah. And it kind of that kind of was where interventions actually became tired, because we were seeing stuff that was moving much more quickly, and it's a shame, because actually there was lots and lots of brilliant stuff in there.
What was the one with the piggy bank?
The Sum of All Thrills.
Yes.
That was the...
Yes.
And there was one about, John said there was something around if there was a storm and how storm waters were managed. Yeah. There was all sorts of
I was just asking.
Yeah, there's one with a piggy bank, wasn't there?
I was just about the one with the piggy bank. What was that?
Yeah, Sum of All Thrills.
The Sum of All Thrills.
Yeah.
That was the Sum of All Thrills, was it? Okay.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay.
That was one of the last ones to close, actually.
Right. Okay.
Right, okay.
I remember that being there in 2004.
Right, okay.
There were so many different things that went through that space, and obviously that the interventions had replaced Communicore to start with. So, but I do remember the ride simulator and standing there watching people building these things and then flinging themselves around. I did the one that was in Morgan, and I did the one that was. He built me a ride, and I did it. The one that was in Disney Quest, because they had the same setup in it. and I let him design it, and then I wrote it.
I did that one.
Yeah, that was.
I did that one, and we made a birthday song for Jill on the song.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna rattle down a list. I've actually found a whole list of different exhibits and sponsors, and going back to what I just previously said, even Apple were one of the original.
Yeah.
Involved there for 4 years in 94 to 98.
Wow.
But there's a massive list of companies that had involved and invested, which was very much the Disney way, wasn't it? It was to be a part that was to be self-sustained through sponsorship, and then they realised, I think perhaps once the financial markets crashed and we were left with a world that was a little bit different.
Yeah,
you can't expect companies to go and invest in a park, and I think Disney wanted a little bit of their own control back as well. You know, it becomes it becomes a little bit more apparent that there was a little bit, they were getting, I think Sega were involved quite significantly at one point, and they were trying to trial loads of their stuff, which was fine. But Disney are thinking, hang on, how come we could have a bit of that market?
Yeah.
I think was it Time Warner or another film company and TV company. They were involved in some points, and it was suddenly the fact that you suddenly become aware that Disney itself as a company were expanding, and they couldn't afford to be seen as having sort of other brands that they were competing with. It's a real strange one, and that's what Epcot has actually allowed. It allows you that opportunity to actually look back at corporate history and see how, first off, the Disney Corporation changed, but how that sponsorship bit really does sort of influence what's going on in your theme park.
Definitely.
I also have to say that sometimes, certainly the first time we went, things got a bit confusing because one attraction tells you that dams are good things. Another attraction tells you that dams are not good things. You know.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, he's here all week.
And there was some kind of that as well. There was a little bit of contradicting itself in places.
Yeah. There was a lot of I think if you try to do the whole of Future World as it was in one go, you do feel a little bit sort of bashed over the head with edutainment, and I think it's perhaps better to do kind of one side and then round to World Showcase and then do the other side different time, perhaps.
As long as you go the right way around, World Showcase should be fine. You won't anger Claire.
Well, me and Claire will just be missing us, so I can go around World Showcase whichever way I like.
Yeah.
You can meet in the American Pavilion for a sing-song.
Yeah.
Halfway round.
I know Claire will be flying when we're coming or close by,
You are listening to the Great British Mickey Waffle podcast. If you want to find out more about us, please check out our website, www.gbmickeywaffle.com, or come and join us on our Facebook group, The Waffler's Arms, where you will always receive a very warm welcome and meet with other like-minded Disney fans. If you've missed any of our shows, you can download them from your podcast place of choice, or you can watch them all on our YouTube channel, along with our live Wafflers Wednesday shows too. Join us live on YouTube or Facebook every Wednesday for more waffling. Now, back to the show.
Yeah, Ben, take us from 2012 up to the present day.
Oh, I can't believe that it's the last 10 years. I can't believe we're thinking that today's Epcot's 40th. 10 years ago, there was a special 30th edition of Illuminations, Reflections of Earth.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering whether Disney had done that a lot. Anytime where it was Christmas or New Year, there'd be additional sort of fireworks or just announcements of different things. But also in 2012, something that we saw on our first trip, and we didn't have a clue what it was, and it was Agent P's World Showcase Adventure.
Yeah.
This was amazing.
Oh, now we're talking.
Idea.
Here we go.
We had no idea what it was. No idea who Agent P was.
Yeah.
I know.
Absolutely amazing.
I There was one before that, though, wasn't
It was
there?
Kim
Possible.
Impossible before that,
Yeah.
And
Let's face
Impossible was an excellent. It was excellent
It was really
to actually
good.
go and do. Yeah,
But
and it's that hands-on interaction that I think
find out,
it's not
be
just
curious.
it's not just little kids. It's big kids want to have a go out when they go into the parks as well. It was such
Agent
brilliant
P.
fun.
Every
Brilliant fun.
time.
Agent P.
Oh,
it was-
yeah.
so great.
Has anyone got a theme tune stuck in their head already?
Oh yeah, I'm singing it. I can hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, what you could do is hang around other people who were doing it and watch what happened when they sort of
It
managed to
was
find
brilliant.
things. Yeah.
It was superb.
It just
Really
adds something
was.
different to the experience of, like I said, of being in the theme park.
Yeah.
It's just something
Yeah.
that is so different, and it makes World Showcase because it is for the food booths and there's lots of things happening, but it's not something that's for everyone's age. But that just bridges the gap of something else that everyone can be involved with.
Just something about it. It's a really fascinating way because actually, Kim Possible was actually a very, very good game to play. But very few people from the UK had actually picked up on Kim Possible. They updated that quite quickly, and when it became Agent P, because of certainly from experience of the age of my kids, it became part and parcel of World Showcase became such a smaller place for them. Because they go and take on all of these trials and stuff, and you'd even be aware. You go to the Germany pavilion, and you'd end up be stood there, and people would just wait for that just a little moment as it's just sort of peeking up over the top.
Yeah.
Can you get the photo of Perry sticking?
Yeah, it's just looking for the platypus just appearing. I loved it. It was. And each of the bits that you went, the missions that you were sent on were so different and so much in sending kids into the back of each of those pavilions.
Yeah.
And I think that again is something which I think possibly is one of the things where I think for my children has made for their memories and their experiences of Epcot to be much more enriched, simply because when they saw this as a game, once they finished the game, it was like, oh, there's such and such a characters to see, or there's something else to see at the back of that pavilion. Can we go and have another look? And suddenly you're struck with the kids are dragging the adults into these pavilions rather than them just disappearing around World Showcase. It was a very, very clever thing, and I think again even now I think they need that interactive thing. And I know that there's they had the bit when it went from the teleporter and you had to put it back in the post box and stuff, and it went onto mobile phone. I'd still like to see them adapt that technology further because
I think they'll do something, and I think it's because I know they're doing it in Galaxy's Edge with the data pad on your phone, and that, and I know that they've been using the Disney Play app, so the technology's there. When you think of how much it is, it's how they integrate it, and it could be done. So they need to keep it simple. And with
Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah.
Yes. Maybe they could do something where you could choose. So if you preferred a particular version, you could have that. Because I know they talked about having a DuckTales version.
Yeah.
What is it about just having sort of things with songs that get stuck in your head? But also in 2012, I think we touched on this earlier with Test Track reopening with the Chevrolet sponsorship. And how competitive that we all are and making ugly cars.
Absolutely.
It's interesting. I find it really interesting that it's
cars.
It's basically the same ride mechanism as Disneyland's Cars ride, but that is such a different ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's amazing what you can do with basically the same ride mechanism and the same layout.
Yeah.
Last time I went on Test Track, it was the last time I went to Test Track. Yes, it was. It was late. We'd gone in for the party, not for the food and wine party, because we got tickets for that. And they closed the front half and I just missed it. So the CM took me round to the side, in through a cast member side door, and let me join the very last party.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that was cool.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice little bit of pixie dust at the end of the day. But
Oh, too right.
yeah, there's so much stuff that's happened this decade, and I know it was our first ever trip to Walt Disney World. So our first trip to Epcot, and like we said earlier, it took quite a few times at Epcot to understand what it was about. I'm still not sure whether at the minute we still know exactly what it is, with the amount of changes that are going on.
The transformation period at the moment.
It's gone from, especially all about construction, or it's been like sort of the world of walls.
Yeah.
They were very pretty walls.
Yeah.
Nicely painted.
There's been a lot of closures and a lot of refurbishments of this past decade, from Maelstrom closing with Frozen replacing it. So if you had to choose one, would you be Maelstrom or Frozen?
I haven't done Frozen yet, so I can't compare.
I know I never did Maelstrom.
Maelstrom was there on our first visit, and by the second visit, it was closed altogether.
I have done both Maelstrom and Frozen attraction. I don't know which I'd choose. I'm struggling. There was something unique about the oil rig.
Yeah, there was. Yeah.
Over the falls and back you go, and you've not been the first, you won't be the last. All of that stuff that sticks in my mind. Whereas the Frozen attraction maybe isn't quite so memorable, but that might, you know, it's not quite so unique. Maybe.
I think it's memorable for a few people, and that's probably because they were in that 5-hour queue.
Yeah, maybe so.
On opening day, and I remember when that opened, and it was like the queue went into the back of China.
Wow.
It's apparently Epcot employees were giving out ice cream and water bottles to try and cool them down.
Yeah.
Not an attraction I rush to, and if I miss it, I'm not that bothered.
Yeah.
Did anybody actually do the film at the end of Norway?
Once. Once, and that was it. And it was like, right, kids, come on, quick, we'll get through before the doors shut.
You know what? I remember Lloyd saying previously, it was like that mad dash when you got off the boat. You've got to get through the. You've got to get through the cinema screen before the film started, because otherwise you were stuck for like 15 minutes. I remember watching it. Yeah.
I would also add, I actually think one of the first proper live streams I think I ever picked up on was when it was Maelstrom's closing.
Right.
And actually seeing, and it was a group of cast members who were the last ones to ride it, and they actually filmed the closing of the doors of the ride.
Wow.
And you're only seeing something, and again, it again shows just how much this has all moved on as regarding streaming of theme parks, etc. But it was such a beautiful time, and I actually felt at the time I hated to see Maelstrom go away. I really did. I thought it was one of those rides that you could always walk on, and I think that was the primary issue with it. To come back and to reimagine it as Frozen was perhaps another sign as to where Epcot needed to go. And I think that, again, like you said before, Claire, it's about taking that risk and trying something completely different. They alienated all of the proper big Epcot fans who would like to have seen Maelstrom stay forever, trying to put an IP into a park which had previously struck itself as being unique. They did not want IPs in the park to the extent that Figment was perhaps Epcot's only IP, and that was purely from their own making.
Three Caballeros.
Yeah, but it's a bit different.
Kind of.
It's like, but it's not
and
that whole...
Timon and Pumbaa, although that was the Timon and Pumbaa film.
But they're not really. They're not really engaged in that, and I think once they saw what was happening with Frozen, you then suddenly become aware that this is the next step on for the park, and I think that's what we're seeing now. And I know Ben had mentioned about, we'd mentioned in the past about the 2019 D23 before lockdowns happened and changed all of that plan, but the whole idea was to introduce a lot more, and that's what it was. Moana, Ben, it will evolve. Well, I don't think we'll ever see that, Peter. Unfortunately, that would be quite exciting, but a real change. And as much as I'd love to see Maelstrom, I think Frozen just about I think more for getting numbers through the doors I think that's where the Frozen ride actually comes into its own. And
also,
again,
I think Disney was stuck because Frozen was so popular, and the 6-7 hour queues just to the meet and greet in Magic Kingdom, it was crazy. They needed to find a space where they could fit, and I think that was just the perfect fit for at the time, and it's meant that they've been able to develop some great animatronics and use the technology which now we see in other parks in some
Spot.
So again, it's
Talking of the nowhere
trial it out. Again, it's that try it out, see what we can do with it. Mentality.
Talking of the Nowhere Pavilion, did anybody do Arcus?
Akashus, yes,
Arcus, yes.
Wonderful
Was it good?
place. It's
excellent.
superb.
It's really
Is
good.
it-
Absolutely.
Is it better than Cinderella's Royal Table?
I haven't done Cinderella's Royal Table because it's stupidly priced.
Yeah, okay.
We need a
Akashus,
remortgage for Cinderella.
as a family, we really enjoyed Akashus both times. And for me, when we went, I guess it must have been like 2017, it must be 2017. I think the Millie would have been 6, 5. So princesses were like important at that point. And so for us, we went to EPCOT on our second day, and we did Akashus for lunch, and found out princess meet and greet lunchtime, day 2, and that meant she'd met Belle, Ariel, Jasmine, Aurora, and Cinderella. Snow White done. So we didn't ever have to stand in a queue to meet them again for the rest of the 2 weeks. It was worth every single penny just to do that. The food, actually, for me, is outstanding. I think they do something really unique. They don't shy away from the fact that a smorgasbord may not be for everyone. They don't try and sanitize it to make it more appealing. And I think that's one of the benefits of the Food in World Showcase sometimes, that it's a nod to, but actually the food at Akashus, it is, herring and roll mops and, all of mackerel and salmon and, amazing meatballs and stuff. It is truly Scandinavian food, and that's fantastic. It's not for everyone though.
Many different herring. Lovely.
How many different ways can you create a herring?
And it's still one that hasn't reopened since COVID.
No, it's not real.
No.
Sad.
It's a shame.
Building as well inside, it's beautiful.
Yes.
I don't think it would be long, because they've only just recently announced that Crystal Palace, Winnie the Pooh has returned from breakfast.
Yeah.
So things are getting back to normal, hopefully.
I think as well, Ben, I think one of the important things was, with the cast member exchange program, and that pavilion in particular, the servers there were Norwegian, and you actually, when you asked a question about what the food involved, they were able to give you like a regionalisation part of as to the story behind the food and the fishing history of the country, and that's what you need. You need that sort of information coming back to you. It's not about sort of they're just sort of going for a burger and chips or whatever. You want that experience out of a theme park, and that's what I think consistently Epcot has done, and it becomes quite a unique part of you.
Yeah,
the food part in particular, irrespective of food and wine, I still feel that the restaurants within the park itself have evolved and become much better.
Yeah.
Also, I think that's another difference in recent years, in that the various festivals have gone from being something that happens occasionally for however many weeks to being almost a permanent thing.
But that to me feels like
6 weeks out of
the
year.
I think whether it's Festival Holidays, whether it's Flower and Garden, Food and Wine, or the most recent one of Festival of the Arts, which opened in 2017, there's now something for... We've done Festival of the Arts, Flower and Garden, and Food and Wine.
Yeah, so we've done everything but Festival of the Holidays.
Yeah, and they're all the same, but they've got, as in like you've got the same sort of layout, but there's so much different at each one that I can pick one over the other. The only thing that sort of sways me is Festival of the Arts because of the Disney on Broadway bit.
Yeah.
But that is the bit that just...
And actually the food looks really... it tastes perfectly fine, perfectly okay at Festival of the Arts, but it sometimes it is more a feast for the eyes rather than the stomach.
Yeah.
It's all very pretty, the food.
But yeah, no.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
But John, you mentioned 2019. It was a year that we had so much hope and so much for it that got announced at D23 from, like we said earlier about Future World, the changes, going to be World Discovery, Celebration in Nature. And then we had the final ever Illuminations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leading straight into EPCOT Forever, which we thought was only going to be a one-off for a year until Harmonious. And then it come back in 2021.
There's some fireworks left over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In leading to everyone's favourite show, Harmonious.
Going away.
Don't make
I haven't seen it yet.
tacos.
Haven't seen it yet.
Haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
So-
Stargate Tacos.
When you do set fire to it, guys. When you see it, get rid. That's it.
And of course, the other thing that came along last year was Ratatouille
Yes.
Yeah.
and the extension of the France Pavilion, so that now you can go for a quick crepe in France if you wish.
Yeah, that area is really pretty.
Yeah. And especially you've got with Mr. Transportation there,
very nice.
with Skyliner being that part
Yeah.
of the park.
Yeah.
So it's another
Yeah.
place for you to get to and also get some resorts that around the area. And that just adds to that sort of ambience of the park.
Do we know if the fountain is the same as in Paris, i.e.,
It's not.
Back area, the new bit in France doesn't look anything like the area in Paris. And the fountain is, yeah, no, I know, no, it's not the same.
Okay, in Paris you have little remedies around the bottom, and if you go fast, it's a zoetrope.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
Do
not
they
the
have
same.
that in Paris?
No.
Okay,
It's a
cool.
completely
And
different design of
I
fountain.
don't think they have the hidden Remy's in the railings either.
Yeah, they do.
Do they?
Yeah, they do.
Okay. No, I'll have to look out for those.
But you can look when you're there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, Guardians of the Galaxy came along.
Yes.
And
Cosmic.
Best
yeah,
ride
it seems to
on
be
property.
everybody's favourite ride.
I would put that up. Yeah, it is currently Walt Disney World's best attraction.
Not just because it's the newest.
No. From my perspective, I love Rise of the Resistance, but that was more the technology of going what we're taking from Ratatouille to the story of Star Wars and something that is very different. But I think it's an attraction I got on, enjoyed the entire queue, and it wasn't just that there's nods to Walt. There's so much of like veggie, fruit all throughout the queue. There's so many nods to Epcot, and it reminds me of standing at World Showcase the first time we watched Epcot Forever, and you hear Walt's voice and then Figment, and then it is just the attraction is definitely Epcot.
Yeah.
So it feels like you're walking through
And that's what excites me for the future, Ben.
Yeah.
Because actually, instead of being embarrassed about the past 40 years, I think Epcot itself is really proud of everything that's gone before. They've, even veggie, fruit.
Yep.
You've got to acknowledge that the
It's
past.
awesome.
It is awesome, but instead of it being something that's consigned to a box somewhere, they're still prepared to say, this is what we were.
Yeah.
And we're really proud of it, because actually that's the whole point. I think that's the whole point of what Epcot is about. I think it's why we all love the park, because we've all got different memories from the very first time we went. You've all got very special memories of things that have gone away. You've also got the memories of what has changed that you don't agree with, but also we've seen a park that's become a much more established whole day and more of everybody's holiday, because you can't just dip in and do it like I said at the very start of the show. My family were able to do all of that dead easy. According to them, we could go back in. I could spend a week in Epcot, and I think Ben, you alluded to it there about sort of the resorts that are attached to the International Gateway and also the accessibility on the Skyliner. To actually be able to just dip in and out of Epcot becomes such a pleasant way of just enhancing your holiday and I think we said on a Wednesday show a couple of weeks ago, was just that whole thing about being able to just walk into a park from your hotel, just absorb a little bit, walk back. It's just it's amazing, and I don't know. It's my favourite park. I know I've said this before already on this show, but
I know
it's the most wonderful place.
Yeah, and I know we've all said what we like about Illuminations and how some of us like it, some of us maybe not so much. And I think Epcot Forever sums up Epcot of what
I'd agree.
Disney were at that right point in 2019, that they knew what they had lined up in D23, all the announcements, and Epcot Forever just summed up, here is what everything's past, and now we're going into a whole new world. And obviously they didn't know what was going to happen 6 months later.
It made you glad for the past and what had come before, but excited for what was going to come next.
And if Disney can carry on delivering attractions like Guardians, if they can improve Harmonious to just have the same heart as what Epcot Forever and Illuminations has, or has had before, that's what I think Harmonious is missing. And we know that it is going away in one form or another.
I want some more detail about that, Ben.
We want to make sure it's gone. But is it going to be just, I don't know, are they going to just class Harmonious as it was Epcot's fireworks show for the 50th anniversary for Walt Disney World, or are they just going to have something special for the 41st or Disney's 100th?
Yeah.
So it's an amazing park, and we've barely touched on the restaurants, both quick service and table service. We've barely touched on. I know we've barely touched on the merch.
Yes.
I mean, I still shed tears for Mouse Gear because Mouse Gear became our old reliable. Anything you wanted, you could guarantee you'd find it in Mouse Gear.
You will love creations.
Yes. Yeah.
It doesn't
Mostly
smell.
because they managed to get rid of the smell.
Yes. That is true.
Mouse Gear, thank goodness.
And I am looking forward to checking out all the new merch.
Well,
so
if Disney today, they have announced a sneak peek of all of the merchandise that's going to be available for the 40th.
Today as in today's day of recording.
Yes.
Which
so by the time you hear this, you will be able to.
It's either that or it will be sold out probably by the time you
listen to this. So we'll send anyone who's in the park today. We'll send you a shopping list.
Grab it.
There is no mention of a popcorn bucket, so
not yet.
That's unusual.
Not yet, anyway.
No.
There'll be Figment with a big 40 on his head or something, just to recreate the one from the 2001
Spaceship Earth popcorn bucket with a wand on the side.
Hey, now we're talking. That's it.
Hey, they do it in Tokyo.
Yeah, they would do it in Tokyo. Yeah. So I think it is time to wish a happy 40th birthday to Epcot. Let's raise a toast and, of course, some cake to a park like no other. Happy birthday, Epcot.
Happy birthday, Epcot.
Happy birthday, Epcot.
Happy birthday, Epcot.
Here's to another 40 years.
And if anyone gets the reference from Guardians of the Galaxy, cake toast is the best.
So, what about you guys who are watching, listening? Are you an Epcot fan? Are you an Epcoter, an Epcotian, citizen of Epcot?
Epcotian.
Epcotian. We would love you to share your memories of the last 40 years. Share them with us. Drop us a message to waffleon@gbmickeywaffle.com or share some photos in the Waffler's Arms. Talk about your memories of your first trip.
All the photos of you when you've gone around World Showcase trying on the hats.
Yeah.
Who hasn't done that?
Wow.
The sombrero on the small child. It's going to happen.
It's got to happen.
Rubbing the lamps in Morocco.
Yeah.
I beg your pardon.
Doing a bit of belly dancing.
Okay.
Peter's got all Aladdin on us.
Yeah. So do share with us your memories as well. And I don't know about you, but I can't wait for our next visit there. So I think with that, there is only one thing to say.
Waffle on.
Waffle on.
Waffle on.
Waffle on.